our test review for quadratics and linear, I'm going to go over number 1 and number 6. Once you do number 1, you should be able to do 2, 3, and 4. And once I knew number 6 is the hardest, and 5, 7, and 8 should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's do number 1 first. I want to review what equation I am going to use to perform these transformations. I need somebody to raise their hands and volunteer. What am I going to use to perform transformations? What kind of form is it in? Standard, vertex, factored. Yes, Cheyenne? Yeah.
Y equals A parentheses X minus H parentheses squared plus A.
That was perfect. Okay. So now I want to know what each of these pieces mean. I don't need to know what X and Y means. That's just each point I can plug right in there. What is A going to tell me? Stretched and what else? Compressed. Or what else? Reflected or not. Yeah. Okay. So now, what does H tell me? Please raise your hand. What does H tell me? Yes, Michelle. G.
Negative x of the vertex. Well, just the x of the vertex.
X of the vertex. Good. What? How does it tell me I'm shifting my graph? Left or right? Yeah. It is the x part of the vertex of my graph, the x value. Okay. And what does K mean? Please raise your hands. Yes, Lindsay. Up or down. All right. So I'm going to rewrite this without the A, H, and K in there. So you can plug in number 1. So I write Y equals, I leave a space, X, I leave a space, squared. Okay. What goes in for the A? Write a quadratic that has shifted 3 units down, 6 units to the left, and vertically stretched by 1/2. 1/2 goes right here. Where does the, what goes in for the H? Write a quadratic equation. Shifted 3 units down, 6 units to the left. What?
Plus
Plus 6, because it's the opposite, right? A negative times a negative, you could put a negative 6 in there. But a negative and a negative makes it positive. Okay? Minus 3. That's it. Questions, comments, concerns? What? It says it's stretched. If it says it's compressed, that just means if it says it's compressed by 3, that just means you put 1/3 in there instead. Okay? All right. So, do you guys feel comfortable? Look at 2 and 3 and 4. You feel comfortable with those? Either describing what's happening? Okay. Let's do number 6 then. All right. I'm looking at equation 6. I'm looking at table for 6. Find the equation that models the following table. All right. Oh, I don't want to do 6. I want to do 7. I lied. Why don't I want to do 6? Is it easier? Why? The x values increase by 1. Does 7?
No.
So that means we can't use the half the second difference to find A. So we're going to go to 7. Okay. For 7, I know I want to put it in what kind of equation? What's standard form? Say it louder.
AX squared plus BX plus C
Equals y or f of x, whichever one. Okay. So, do I have, I know that it's C if x equals 0. Do I have an x equals 0 up here?
No.
Okay. So we're going to have to find all 3. What's the first step I want to take here? Let's just plug in that first point, okay? And I'm going to write the point as 3, negative 1. Okay, knowing that 3 gives me my x, and I'm going to write a little x above it. Negative 1 gives me my y. All right, just to keep track, because sometimes I get confused. So I'm going to write a times 3 squared plus b times 3 plus c equals negative 1. Now I'm going to write right below it, figuring that out. I'm going to do 3 squared and all that, okay? So I get 9a plus 3b. I just switch it because it messes me up whenever I see a letter before a number. I like the number before the letter, okay? So it's just personal preference right there. It's just a common way we do it in math. Okay. So I've got 1. What do I do next? Plug in another point. I'm just going to move to the next point. I've got 6, negative 4. This is my x. This is my y. We're going to plug them in. So we've got a times 6 squared plus b times 6 plus c equals negative 4. And I'm going to get 36a plus 6b plus c equals negative 4. Everybody still with me? Yes, Nolan.
Can you go right from the table to 36a plus 6b?
Yes. But I don't do that, 1, because I'm teaching, and 2, because sometimes I multiply it incorrectly, and then it messes me up. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to do the problem 8 times, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you questions. I'm not going to write anything down right yet. The whole point of this is to get rid of one letter. Which one is the letter that's easiest to get rid of?
C.
C. Why? Because there's nothing in front of C, right? Okay. So I'm going to add 2 things together by doing the elimination method to get rid of it. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite 36a plus 6b plus c equals negative 4. But instead of writing 9a, 3b, and positive c equals negative 1, what am I going to write? Negative. Negative 9a minus 3b minus c equals a positive 1. Why did I do that? And I needed to do that so that what goes away? Right? Because c plus c gives me 2c, right? But c minus c gives me 0. Okay? So now I'm going to add straight down. And 36 minus 9 gives me 27a. 6b minus 3b gives me 3b. The c's cancel, and I'm left with negative 3. How are we feeling? Please ask a question if you're not. Now's the time, right? You can't ask this question during the test. Yes? Negatives here? Okay. Do we agree that c plus c doesn't make them go away? So what I did is I took a negative and I just subtracted everything because I'm trying to get rid of the c's. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, we have how many letters left? That doesn't really help me, right? So what do I need to do now? We need another point to plug in there and do the elimination again to get rid of the c's. I know. It'd be a lot easier if we had one of the letters, right? Which is why all the other problems on here is going to help you because you at least have one. For one problem, Abby, that's what I told you. Okay. So I'm going to plug in 9 and negative 9. Here's my x, here's my y. And I'm going to get a times 9 squared plus b times 9 plus c equals negative 9, which gives me 81a plus 9b plus c equals negative 9. Now, I am going to, again, do exactly what I did right here. I'm going to put that equation underneath this one that I have. Okay? So that I can add straight down again. So I'm going to put negative 9a. Am I going too fast? Okay, let me stop. Do you get that I want to get rid of c again? Okay. So that's what I'm doing. Negative 9a minus 3b minus c equals 1. And I'm going to add these two together.
Do you have to use that equation?
I would.
But you can use any other one, right?
You could use this one right here. But they're bigger numbers, so why not use smaller ones? Right? 27a plus 6b. Oops, it's not 27, is it?
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
It is. It's 72. Excuse me. 72a plus 6b equals negative 8. Okay, so do you see my starred number right here, 27a plus 3b minus 3? And my starred 72a plus 6b equals negative 8? What do I want to do to those? Okay, now let's look. Do we want to get rid of the a's or the b's? Okay, so 3b plus 6b does not get rid of the b's. What am I going to have to do? Times it by 2. Okay, so I'm going to take this, but times it by what kind of 2? Negative 2. So I'm literally going to distribute that negative 2 and write that answer right here. Okay, negative 54a minus 6b equals a positive 6. And then I'm going to add straight down. I get these cancel. Slowing down. We just multiplied it by a negative 2 so that my b's are set up so that they will cancel. Okay. Can I go ahead? Do you have a question, Cheyenne?
Wait, are you only finding one letter?
I have to find all 3. But once you find one, it's really easy to find the others, I swear. 72 minus 54 gives me 18a. The b's cancel equals negative 2. Now what do? So a equals negative 1/9. That's fine. I know it's weird that it's a fraction, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Which equation only has 2 letters where I can find what one of those letters are because I have a? I would use one of these, right? I would use one of the ones that I've just got it. I might use this one because it just has smaller numbers. That's what I did in the past. But you could use 72a plus 6b equals negative 8 or 27a plus 3b equals negative 3. I'm going to use 27a plus 3b equals negative 3, where I'm sticking in negative 1/9 in for a. I want people in the back to be able to see what I'm doing. The nice thing about this is 27 divides by 9 evenly, right? So now I'm gone with my fractions. What is that? How many times does 9 go into 27?
3.
So I get negative 3 plus 3b equals negative 3. Should I slow down for a second or can I keep going? Okay, what do I do next, guys? Plus that 3. So 3b equals 0. So B equals, good. How many letters do I have? I want to find one more. So I'm going to look back in my original equation that I made, and I'm going to stick A and B in for that to find C, and then I'm done, guys. 9 times negative 1/9 plus 3 times 0 plus C equals negative 1.
Yeah, wait, I'm getting that. Where are you getting that from?
This one right here?
Yeah.
Right here.
Wait,
You can use any of them.
Oh, so the 9.
So I literally took both of those and put it into 9A plus 3B plus C equals negative 1 from way up here. Better? Okay. So 9 times negative 1/9 is negative 1, right? Plus 0 plus C equals negative 1. So negative 1 plus 0 is negative 1. Plus C equals negative 1.
Wait,
Yes.
is that a parentheses after the 36?
There's no 36. This is a 3 times a 0. Sorry. I add 1 to both sides and I get C equals. So when I put it in the equation, I get y equals negative 1/9 x squared. You can say plus 0x plus 0 if you want, but you only need this part.
Oh my.
Okay, so let's talk about the steps that we did before I answer your question. 1, I plugged in 3 different points to find equations. 2, I added the 2 new equations I made to get rid of C, and then 1 in equation 3 to get rid of C. Yes? Then I took my new equations that don't have a C and put them together to get rid of B, and I found A. Then I just plugged in A to find B into one of my new equations, and then plugged in A and B into my original equations that I made to find C. Questions? Yes? I think they're all whole numbers. That helps. Yes? Nope.
Lord.
1, Maya, you answered all the questions that when I said, what do you do next, what do you do next, what do you do next? You have to have my voice in your head asking you those questions, and you will be fine.
Launch it, ask.
Okay?
Very motivational.
So, I'm going to ask you instead, what's the first thing you tell me, what if I saw problem number 6, what's the first thing you would ask? And if they do,
Wait.
and then what? Okay, so I literally hear myself ask those questions in my head when I'm going through it. Okay? So, my suggestion for you right now is to do either 6 or 8 right now. 8 is just like what we did for number 7 because it doesn't go up by ones and we don't have what C is. So I would do 8 right now in class. And I will come around and help people.
Charlie, just like you don't have any chairs.
I'm still recording, so hold on. Or